I feel like I've been on this journey my whole life because it started with my name, Talitha Cumi, which literally means little girl wake up. And I can't say it's been easy. There's been a lot of bumps and bruises along the way, but I believe life is all in your decision making. The I Am Talitha Cumi show is a combination of things that I love to talk about, and I want to enlighten you, encourage you, and inspire you to be the best you can be with some help from me and my guests. Let's talk about it.
What's poppin', buddy? See, I got the leftovers from Auntie. Let's go ahead and crack these damn leftovers and make it good. It's a rib slider.
And we are live here at the Botham Jean Foundation Gala event, you guys. Did you know that the real New Year is not on January 1st? It's on March 20th. So the real New Year's Eve is March 19th, with New Year's Day being March 20th. So you guys don't worry if you haven't kept up your New Year's resolutions, because you still have a little bit of time. So is there anything that I left?
No, other than my name is pronounced Georgia.
I was pronouncing that all wrong. Georgia Nay. My bad. I hate when people pronounce my name wrong too.
Tappity Kuma. Hey y'all, hey, it's your girl Talitha Cumi, and I want to welcome you to the I Am Talitha Cumi show on the Food for the Soul Media Group Network. Thanks for tuning in, and remember, you can catch us here on our new night every Thursday at 8 o'clock p.m. on our Food for the Soul YouTube station and Food for the Soul Media Group FB page. And check out our re-air audio shows on Spotify, Google Podcasts, and iHeartRadio. Shout out to Quan with Gorilla Cross Media on the ones and twos, keeping us looking and sounding right. And shout out to my baby in the chat room right now. Our disclaimer, as always, these are our opinions, not fact, just our opinions, and some of the opinions of our guests are not always the opinions of the I Am Talitha Cumi show, Food for the Soul Media Group, or Gorilla Cross Media. And if you want to weigh in, leave us a comment in the chat room on our YouTube station or our FB page. And if you're tuning in on Facebook, please follow us and like our page and share it. And if you're watching us live on our Food for the Soul Media Group YouTube station right now, hit that subscribe button for me. And also go to our Instagram and follow us at Food for the Soul Media Group and I Am Talitha _Cumi. You guys, we're looking for sponsors and donors to help keep our show a priority and bringing you great news, good discussions, and great guests, and we need you. So if you're looking to be a guest or promote your business with us, go to foodforthesoulpresents@gmail.com or inbox us today. Our show tonight has been sponsored in part by the Las Vegas Black Music Awards, Sunday, August the 25th. If you would like to be a sponsor or a volunteer or even a performance artist at the weekend's events, go to www.lasvegasblackmusicawards.com or email us at foodforthesoulpresents@gmail.com for more information. You guys, it is August, and we are taking it back to the old school in 2024. Tonight, we're asking, are we better or not? Like, what worked and didn't? The past and the present. And so I have some very special guests in the building to help me discuss just that. So let me formally introduce them. My first guest is Dr. Valerie Peterson. That's right, Peterson, right?
Yep, that's right.
So Dr. Valerie Peterson was born and raised in Chicago. At 17 years old, Valerie became a teen mom. Motivated to challenge public expectations, Valerie completed high school and made the decision to relocate with her daughter in pursuit of a college education. 2 years later, Valerie gave birth to her second daughter. Motivated to complete what she started, Valerie worked full-time while raising her children as a single mother, graduating with a college degree in 4 years. As a single parent, Valerie realized that she had to use public support systems to excel as a mother and a professional. So this allowed Valerie to continue working full-time and to obtain a master's degree and a doctorate. Through mentoring and sharing her personal stories of success, failure, and the importance of individual determination, Valerie works with people across the nation, helping them break through barriers and achieve the goals they set for themselves. Valerie has recently completed her first book, The Blue Lotus, which illustrates her resilience. Valerie is a nationally recognized author and advocate for social justice, public education, and criminal justice reform. Valerie currently resides in Henderson, Nevada with her dog, Logan. That's a great way to end your bio.
Yeah.
So I'm assuming that your dog is really, really special to you.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
Yes. That's my baby.
Oh. Well, I want to thank you for coming this evening. And first, I want to talk about, I want to get more into depth of how you transition from being on public assistance to getting a doctorate degree. Like what, like how does that happen?
Man, motivation and grit.
Okay.
I mean, I had to do what I had to do.
Yeah.
Being a teen mom is, people get disappointed, especially when you're seen as like the smart one.
Yeah.
And so, once they get disappointed, then everything they thought you could be kind of goes down to the side. And I decided to do something different. And so I decided, hey, I'm going to college. And I was the first one in my family to do so.
Okay.
And I couldn't go to college without resources.
Right.
Definitely, I took my daughter with me. So I had to use the system. I had to get food stamps. I had to get Section 8 housing. I had to get child care. I had to get medical care. But one of the things that I realized was those things could become a crutch, but I knew that I wanted something better for my daughters.
Okay.
And so I used the system in order to get ahead, which I think is the way the system is supposed to be used. I don't think you're supposed to be on it, forever. And so through doing that, that's how I made it to where I am. I think one of the most brilliant and awesome things that a lot of people don't know about is Section 8 had a housing program to where you could buy your own home.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah. So as I made more money, they would take that gap and they would put it away into a savings account. And so when I got to the point where I didn't need Section 8 at all, they took that money and they used it as the down payment, and I was able to buy my first condo. And so that was like me graduating from, all the help that they provided for me while I was getting on my feet.
Well, my question is, a lot of people don't know about it. Is it because they don't tell you that? Like, did you have to do your own research and kind of figure it out? Or did someone like your caseworker or whatever actually tell you like, hey, you can do this, use this system to get to where? Did someone explain that to you? Or did you just like, I'm going to make this happen?
It was a caseworker.
Okay.
It was somebody that saw something in me. And I had to believe that person was honest and truth, and I had to trust them.
Okay.
And she said, hey, we have this program here. If you get enrolled to it, this is what you can do. And she said, I'm going to help you every step of the way, which is one of the ways I got to college. I had a teacher that did the same thing. Hey, you want to go to college? I'm going to help you.
Okay.
And so she helped me work the system and get my first condo.
Man, that is super dope, because I know a lot of people, I feel like they are kind of depending on the system because they feel like that's kind of all that they have. And I don't think that there are a lot of caseworkers, like you said, that are possibly telling them that you can go further. You don't have to stay here. You know what I'm saying?
Yep. I had to want it, though.
Yeah.
Right. I had to show that grit.
I see that.
I had to show that, hey, I meant business. I was trying to get a job. I wasn't trying to just say, no, I'm not going to work. I'm going to live off of this. I was trying. I was in school. They saw that.
Okay.
And so that's when, hey, I got the help.
And that probably makes a difference then. Like if I'm a caseworker and I see this person really trying, I'm going to help them to succeed the best of my ability. But if I see someone who might just kind of be a little lackadaisical, then I might not try as hard, or I might not even tell them about the other programs, because in my mind, I'm thinking, oh, they don't care about these other programs.
And I tell you, it wasn't easy. It was one of the toughest things I had ever done in my life. And there are a lot of issues with that, depression and all kinds of, the things that you go through as a teenager, as a person that really doesn't have any direction.
Right.
And so I had to overcome those things as well in order to make it.
Okay. Well, after going through all of that, what made you write your book?
I am a journal.
Okay.
I write journals. And I've been journaling since I was a kid. I journal about everything. And I looked, because I keep them, and I looked in my closet. I was like, oh my, look at all these journals that I have. And I was thinking about every single thing that I've been through in my life. It was captured in my journals.
Oh, okay.
So I took my journals and I wrote a book out of them. And so the book that I wrote is based on my journals. So my journal writings are in there. But not only are my journal writings in there, what I had to do to get out of a situation is in that too.
Okay.
Because I want to motivate others to say, hey, you don't have to stay here.
Okay.
This is your situation right now, but it is a way out. And you have to believe in yourself. You have to believe in yourself and know that you can make it.
And so you added an addendum pretty much to your journaling. So if you say, I'm here, I'm feeling this way, this is what's going on, then you look back as you're writing your book and you say, this is how I got over that hump, to let them know that you didn't stay there.
Yes. And I'll tell you, the book wasn't easy to write. It was very hard because I had to go back into the journals and live in that moment.
Ooh.
Yeah.
And
I had to
sometimes
live
that's
in that
hard.
moment. And I've been writing this book since 2013.
Oh, wow.
It's been a long time in the making. And what I realized is I still had stuff to go through in order for the book to get to where it got. But honestly, I can't read it. I can't.
Really?
I can't read it.
You haven't read it?
No, because I wrote it.
Yeah.
It took, years, honestly. Took about 6 months for me to actually sit down and do it.
Okay.
But when I look back and I think about all those things, it's kind of like, wow. But it also tears at my heart because you think sometimes you get over stuff. You don't really truly get over stuff. It just looks different.
Okay. Okay. I can see that too. Well, my topic tonight is that are we better or not? That's what I wanted to ask. And so there's so many things going on in the world right now. And my question is, are we better off or worse off right now? Like, can you name 2 things that you think that we are better off now than like maybe 20 years ago? Anything you can think of that we're like, okay, yeah, we're doing it right now versus 20 years ago. Like,
I can't.
You can't.
Talitha, I can't.
Nothing.
It's like I'm trying. And that's a tough one for me because one is still pretty broad, right? So if we narrow it down, then what does that really look like? Am I better, socially? Am I better financially? I mean, I could say I'm better financially, went to college, got a good job.
Right.
But overall, as people, I'm not sure.
Okay.
I'm not sure.
Okay. Well, I wanted to let me see if I can jog you to think of something, because I went to my friend Google and I looked up some things that were going on in 2004, right?
Ooh.
And so it said, and this was crazy, it said that technology-wise, Mark Zuckerberg launched Facebook, originally called The Facebook, in 2004, 20 years ago.
Oof.
With space, NASA landed the Opportunity and Spirit rovers on Mars, which I don't know what that is, but yeah. And then in sports, the Boston Red Sox won their first World Series in 86 years. And the 2004 Summer Olympics were held in Athens.
All right.
And then it says in music, Kanye West released the College Dropout album, which, great album.
Years ago.
Politics, President George Bush won re-election. For natural disasters, a 9.3 earthquake off the coast of Sumatra.
Wow.
It resulted in a tsunami, killing over 227,000 people. One of the worst natural disasters in recorded history. And then it said other events. Martha Stewart went to prison. Janet Jackson had a wardrobe malfunction at the Super Bowl. And Scott Peterson was found guilty of murdering his wife.
I remember that.
And Ronald Reagan's funeral was held in Washington, D.C. So those are some of the things that happened in 2004. And so I feel like we're not better. That's what I feel like. Like I that's why I feel like taking it back to the old school. So I feel like do we still whip our kids? Like, is that necessary? Are we still respecting our elders? Are we doing that? What happened to honoring our parents?
Yes.
Do kids still play outside?
Yes.
So those are the things that I want to ask. Are we really better now because a lot of times I see a lot of kids who are just stuck in their phones, and they don't even realize what's going on outside of this little gadget right here.
Right. Right.
And so I'm like, is that really better?
Yeah, no, I mean, you made some good points.
Yeah.
You know, the one thing I could think about is technology,
Okay.
right? We're sitting here in the podcast,
Yes.
right? We're talking to each other.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't hear anything about that. I didn't know if anything existed like this back then.
Mm-hmm.
But I've been in the classroom just recently,
Okay.
kindergarten, and I had to remember that they were kindergartens.
Yes.
It's like our kids are growing up so fast now.
Okay.
They don't have the discipline that we used to have.
Okay.
I could go outside, and as long as those street lights came on, before they went off, I had to be home.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
And so, no, you can't whip your child.
Okay.
You know, it's child abuse. You know, you have all of these different constraints
Right.
that we didn't have when we grew up.
Yeah.
We just didn't have those things. So, technology-wise, yes.
We're better. Okay.
I just that's a tough one.
Yeah, I in some ways, like you said, the technology affords us the opportunity to find different things to help us, in my personal opinion, than back in the day. But because it's so new still, like even though we think that it's not, it's still new,
Right.
to where we don't know the side effects of every single thing. So while we're trying to help and coming up with all of these great things, it could be harming us and we don't
Right.
even really know.
Right. You know, I'll give you an example of that.
Okay.
Back to the kindergarten class.
Uh-huh.
6-year-olds being upset because they can't have their cell phone.
Yes.
They are being upset because they can't get on the computer and play their games.
Wow.
You know, I want to play this game. I don't want to pay attention to what you want to do. You know, you want me to do. No, I want to get on this little, device.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what's teaching kids right now, because that's the only thing they're paying attention to. So education wise, the technology has not been good. It's been a crutch because we used to watch Sesame Street.
Yeah.
You know, we used to.
Electric Company.
Yeah, all this stuff. I couldn't even tell you what kid shows like that are out now.
Yeah. I don't know either. Do you think though that parents, it would be is it their responsibility to not just stick a phone in their child's hand, like when they're crying or like when they're on, like maybe they might be on a road trip or something like that. Put the phone, in the kid's hand, like, hey, I just want to quiet them down and keep them busy or whatever while I'm doing this. Do you think that we've made a mistake in doing that? It seems like we have.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
We use it, like you said, so we can do what we need to do, and you can go be on that device, and I really don't have to care what you're doing on it because it's keeping you quiet. So absolutely. You said parents with an S.
Yes.
I think that's part of the problem too.
Okay.
My kids, I was a single mom, so I definitely understand what being a single mom is and how hard it is. But that doesn't stop me from wondering how things would have been had their dad been around.
Okay.
And so when I go back to the classroom and I'm looking at these kids and I'm looking at the parents, it's like, where have the parenting come from them, right? So their parents versus their parents. We were generational. We were generational. We had grandma, we had great grandma.
Right.
Everybody was there to discipline you. Right now, it's mama, but like you said, mom's doing whatever she wants. Wow. Is mom even home, right? Am I by myself? That happens a lot too.
Well, right now, like they're saying that the new 50 is the new 40 or the new 40 is the new 30. And so we have great grandmothers that are 50 years old that are my age, and we still feel like we're young and we're still doing different things, and some of us are single. And so I think that the generations have even changed and how we parent our children. I know, like the other day, I don't remember what day it was. Bobby can correct me, but we were on a road trip. So we took a road trip with our daughter, my mother-in-law, my sister-in-law, and we were on the road. And I'm like, okay, what can we do that might be a little bit fun instead of all of us kind of on our phones?
Right.
And so I brought my big old bag of games, and Bobby really kind of hates games, but I felt like it would be able to, it would get our daughter involved instead of having her be on her phone like the whole entire trip, right? And so we did that, and it was so much fun, and I felt like she had a lot of fun. So I feel like taking it back to the old school, doing things like that can be so engaging, and it can create a memory. Whereas, I remember when me and my family went to this place and we had so much fun. We played games, we did this, versus I was on my phone the whole time, so I didn't sightsee or look at it. You know what I'm saying? So
Right.
I feel like those are some of the things that we can do. Somebody said that they are walking computers. My 15-year-old can cook any adult I've ever met, better than any adult I've ever met. But it felt weird eating the best wings I've ever had in my life from a teen.
Now they could have learned that on the computer, right?
And then somebody said they can learn things on YouTube in 25 minutes that took us 6 years to learn. Wow. Quan said he learned. Wait a minute, hold on. You learned your entire studio to build your studio off of YouTube, Quan? Really?
Wow.
Wow.
My friend calls it YouTube University.
Yes.
If I
absolutely.
ask for, hey, do I go to YouTube University, figure it out?
So then I guess then we can say that that's one thing that is working for us. Now it's allowing us, like Quan didn't have to go to school for 4 years,
Right.
or 5 or 6 years to learn how to do this awesome thing that he has. He was able to learn on YouTube.
Man.
So I can get with that, but I still feel like there are times when we have to start requiring ourselves, even myself, put the phone down. Let's live in the present. And Bobby, really gets on me about that, because I'm always on my phone as well, just kind of trying to either see what's going on in the world, because I don't watch the news.
Okay.
Or I'm trying
Good.
to, promote my podcast or whatever I'm trying to do, and not living in the here and now. And I think that that's what our kids are going to miss from us if we don't start doing that again really, really soon.
Yeah.
Really soon.
Let's go back to having dinner at the
At
table.
the table.
That's it.
We here. We are here.
Put that phone down. We're
Yes.
trying to eat and have conversation.
Right.
Do you even know how to have a conversation?
Yeah. And I don't think that we're teaching our kids that. But what do you feel was the catalyst that motivated you or helped you in your success journey? Like, was it, because you said it was grit and determination, but was it family values that made you say, look, I'm going to do better because I have to, or my family's teaching me how to do this? Or what was it for you?
Yeah. So, I would say definitely family. My dad was a big motivator, and no matter how disappointed he would be, he would still say, I know you could do it. He passed away, but one of the things I always loved him saying is, you had your baby. I didn't think you was going to ever do anything, but now I can call you Dr. Val. So every time I called home and he would answer, Dr. Val. And then you had a church, right? I had the church there as well. I had, the mothers of the church,
Really?
which do they exist anymore? You had your mothers of the church, your aunties and your uncles that was pushing you. And then I could say at every single inflection point of my life, there was a person there that pushed me to the next level.
Okay.
And so I still had to have the will, though. If I didn't have the will, nobody can help you if you don't want to help yourself. We hear that all the time.
Right.
And so I had to want to help myself, and my daughters drove that.
Okay.
Growing up in Chicago on the South Side, I didn't want them to grow up in that neighborhood, in that environment. So what did I need to do to get out of it?
Okay.
That's what I had to learn, and that's what I was taught by different people.
And so they were really, really your motivators, saying, I don't want this life. I don't want the same life for my daughters. And so talk about your church experience a little bit. We talk about church a lot on my show. Bobby has a very different opinion sometimes about how I feel about church, and the only reason why is I feel like my father, because my father was a pastor, it was just a different dynamic for me growing up in the church. And so talk about the mothers and because that seems traditional to me. That seems like, okay, well, you had mothers in the church that actually said, hey, Valerie, you can do it. Or they might have gave you some tough love sometimes, or what, you know what I'm saying, or whatever.
Yeah.
Did that happen for you?
Absolutely.
Because it doesn't happen for everybody, I don't think.
Man, listen, if my skirt was too short, if I had on too much makeup, I don't even wear makeup, but if it looked like I had on makeup, somebody was going to be there like, damn, you know better than this. You know, I grew up in church. I was there all the time. My mom and dad, they cooked in the kitchen. I was in the choir, went to Sunday school, went to Bible class, went to Friday night service.
Vacation Bible school.
Yes.
Yeah,
with the
I remember
cookies
that.
and the punch.
Yes, I remember that. I remember that.
Well, yeah, I grew up with all of that. And as I started to get older, and I would say going away to college really kind of pulled me away from that a little bit, but it's because I didn't have church around.
Okay.
It was, you know, it was in the city. It was far from where I was going. And then I just started to learn about other things. You know, I got to a point where I thought my church was like the only church in the world. And so it wasn't until I got to college when I learned that there were other religions, other practices that people had. And so I became interested in them. And so that interest just kind of led me to a different way, right? So now I would say I'm more spiritual.
Okay.
Than I am. I don't go to church right now. I don't believe you have to be in a physical building to have a relationship with God. I have a relationship with God, and it's between me and God.
Yeah. When did you decide that? Was it when you went to school and came back and you realized that there were other religions out here, or was it something that happened to where you were like, okay, I don't have to go to church anymore like I used to when I was younger?
You know, it was, I would say, a mixture of it. I got the opportunity. I grew up Pentecostal, all right? So saved, sanctified, and got an opportunity to go to a church that was non-denominational, non-traditional, and the messages were different. I felt like the pastor was talking to me whenever he was preaching. It was very different from what I was used to. And so that started my journey from really knowing scripture to living scripture.
Okay.
And then as I learned that, I just continued to go down that path and to talk to God the way I needed to. And I didn't want anybody to dictate that for me.
Okay. And that makes so much sense to me. Somebody said that, somebody said that the opportunity that is available and that has opened up, to us now compared to 20 years ago is unprecedented. So like it's so many more opportunities. So I guess that's a good thing versus 20 years ago. Somebody said we built the opportunity for our children. Our frustration with having to wait or struggle finding things, they're over advanced now, and some of them are overstimulated. So we need to put better limits on our kids, I guess, in their time with technology. Somebody said a lot of knowledge, but no people skills, no work ethic, no goals outside of today. Like what's going on today? They're not thinking past that. And then somebody said that Satan is spiritual too. So I don't, and I believe that too. I think it's a different type of spiritual. But yeah, I can see everything you're saying because I feel the same way. I think that mine was really though right before the pandemic, and then after that, where I'm like, okay, I'm closer to God, and I say that all the time. I'm closer to God now than I was ever in a church, and not. It's a good thing because I feel like that's the way it always should have been. Right. It should have been us having our own personal relationship with the Lord, but we were so leaning on our pastor to just tell us everything, and then we would go in there and they would tell us everything, and then we would go and not live none of it. You know what I'm saying? We forget about it as soon as we, get in the parking lot or whatever. And now it's up to us, and we're learning that that nobody can get us to where we need to be with God, but ourselves. If you believe, if you believe in God like that.
Right.
I want to know, what would you say to new school young ladies coming up on what it takes to do 180 and change their life? Like what are like maybe 2 or 3 things that you would tell them to say, hey, you can do it by doing?
Yeah. 1, slow down.
Okay.
Going back to technology and then watching all these videos and all of these models that they think are models for them, that I would say aren't really models, in my opinion.
Yes.
But slow down. You're going to get there. But if you're going too fast and growing too fast and you don't have a direction, because your direction is what social media says your direction is, then you don't know what you're working toward. So 1, I would say slow down.
Okay.
Discipline. You need discipline. You need to understand that you are beautiful no matter what anybody tells you. You don't have to compare yourself to anybody. I always tell my daughter, and she's 24 years old, social media is not real.
Okay.
It's not real. It's fake. What do you want to do? Do you even know what you like? Sit down with yourself. Think about, journal. Journal. Learn about who you are.
Okay.
And that's something that a lot of girls don't know how to do. So sometimes it's up to us to guide them. But, we really have to start loving ourselves.
Okay.
And if you love yourself, then you will get to the things that you have dreamed of. You will reach your goals.
Okay. And is that all you got? That slow down.
Man,
discipline.
I tell you, being a teacher, based on everything that you see, it's just, you got to start slow. You got to start slow. These young ladies need to believe that somebody believes in them.
Okay.
And so once they have that belief, kind of like I did with the caseworker, then they're a little bit more trusting, and you can give them a little bit more direction.
Guidance, yeah, and they'll listen.
Yep.
Well, I thank you so much. On that note, we are going to be back after this short commercial break. So if you're just tuned in, keep it locked to the I Am Talitha Cumi show. We got Las Vegas Black Music Award nominee Zoe Johnson in the building.
Nice.
I'm rooting for everybody that's black. Yeah. Yeah. Sue me, I'm rooting for everybody that's black. Yo. Look. Sue me, I'm rooting for everybody that's black. Spent about 2 racks on handmade new rags. Sue me, I'm rooting for everybody that's black. That's everybody from sports to college class to rap and back.
And you guys, we are back. If you just tuned in, this is the I Am Talitha Cumi show with me, Talitha Cumi, and my special guest, Dr. Valerie Peterson, and the lovely and talented Zoe Johnson has just joined us, you guys. How you doing, Zoe?
I'm doing well. How are y'all?
We are doing well. Having a good time this evening. The weather decided to give us a little bit of a break, so it's not as hot out here as it has been for the last 115 days. But I want to introduce you, Zoe, before I start asking you a couple of questions before you get on the mic. So Zoe Johnson is a 15-year-old singer, songwriter, dancer, actress, and model with a profound passion for music. Often feeling like she was born in the wrong decade, Zoe's heart beats to the rhythm of a 90s R&B, my favorite. Drawing inspiration from legendary artists like Aaliyah, she effortlessly blends these timeless vibes with a fresh contemporary twist, creating a sound that is both nostalgic and innovative. So Zoe, first of all, thank you for coming on. Mom, Miss Tina, thank you for bringing her. I want to know how long have you been doing music? Like, when did you remember, like, this is what I want to do, and why? Why did you choose music?
Now, I will say it's been a couple of years. Like, I think it had to be around 8, where, like, about a couple years, because now I'm 15, so it had to be, like, a couple years back to where I was like, this is what I want to, like, I really want to do this. Like, I listened to so much music, and I was like, I just got to do this. Like, this is something I want to do. This is something I'm committed to. Like, I always write. Like, I always write all of my music. I have so many pages of music.
Wow.
And, you know, just getting different beats and being able to write, just let go. Like, that's something that, like, holds strong with me.
Yeah.
So I think I would say a couple of years back is when I really wanted to start. And then I started pushing, and now to get where I am now. And
now you're here.
Continue.
And Miss Tina, so I want to ask you, and the reason why I brought you up, when did you see the passion in Zoe for music? And when did you see, like, ooh, my baby can really sing. She can do that. Here, you got to talk in your mic for me, too.
Yeah, I think that was I think we really started noticing it when she was in middle school.
Okay.
And let me back up. When Zoe was 5 years old, she would always tell us, I'm going to be famous.
Wow, okay. So she knew.
And we said, well, okay.
Mm-hmm.
But I think my husband and I, we started to notice right around middle school time. So we said, okay, go ahead, sing in the school choir, you know. And she did. She's also a big hip hop dancer out here in Vegas. So we were like, singing, yes, but we know you're definitely a dancer, you know, because she's going around performing. But then she would be home at night and she'd be in her room singing her heart out, and we would walk by and be like, is that our child?
Yeah.
So we said, okay, she's really serious about this, right? And so we decided to get her a vocal coach.
Okay.
And really that started her journey. After that, we got her started working with the vocal coach, and they were doing their thing. And then by the time she was entering into high school, I think this is the significant part where we saw just such a great leap. We saw the first leap with the vocal coach for sure, because her voice was changing and getting better. Then she auditioned to sing at LVA.
Okay.
You know, they have auditions and you have to compete to get into that school.
Okay.
And she competed. She got in with the help of her vocal coach. Shout out Musicology.
Okay.
And once she got in, we were like, yes, very excited about that. I'm telling you guys, from the time she was in middle school till the time she got in high school, because in high school they sing 2 hours a day, so that's 2 hours a day, 5 days a week.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah, and I went back and I played the video from the time we saw her singing solo, her first solo, to the time to now, and the difference in her voice had changed so much. And then the story just continues. She had an opportunity to make a song with Rob Lacey. He's a big advocate for kids out here in Las Vegas. We got with him, had a beat. He just threw a couple of beats and said, you know, here's the beats, see what you come up with. And she had wrote to both beats.
Wow.
Got her in the studio, because the Boys and Girls Club here in Las Vegas, out in Henderson, has a full-blown music studio. I don't think people realize this. You pay your little membership to Boys and Girls Club and you get full access to a music studio, which is huge, especially for kids.
Absolutely.
That underserved kids,
Yes.
kids that need mentorship. They have access to that. So he told us about that. We took advantage. I took her. They were cranking songs out in one day, like 2 hours. Song's done. What? I'd never heard of this. And lo and behold, these 2 songs are really taking traction. They've become hits. I cannot explain to you what this journey has been like since she just decided in November to make these songs. I looked on Spotify the other day. It was up 9,900 streams and 250 people were listening to it.
Wow.
And that's just on
Go
one
Zoe.
song.
Yeah.
Thank you.
And so, I mean, that's not a lot if you compare it to like all these mainstream artists, but it's a big
It's a
deal
lot.
when you're getting started.
Absolutely.
And so,
Take those small wins.
yeah, the journey has been amazing. And I will tell you, like, when you channel in like the right energy and you're working on yourself, things just start to be attracted to you. And that's what I see for her, and I'm really excited for her. She just finished a movie project. She's got, she's a nominee for this
Yes.
Las Vegas Black Music Awards we're all excited
Good.
about. People are calling me about other things in the future. I'm amazed and yet I'm proud because I know, hey, you're listening to me and Dad, what we're telling you. You know how kids, sometimes they roll their eyes and they're like, yeah, you don't know what you're talking about, you're old, right? But she really is taking it to heart, and she writes her goals down and goes over them with us. We have family meetings.
Oh, yeah.
We have, all these things, and she lets us know this is what I want to do. And we're in tune, and we take her seriously because we know she's serious. This is the hardest worker I've ever seen.
Well, Zoe, how has it been being a young entertainer, like managing your school schedule, your social schedule? Like, do you find it hard to balance sometimes?
I think sometimes, like, it's not always hard to balance, but there are some times where there's too much work maybe, and then I'm like running around trying to do all these other things and then make time, to do my music or to perform. So I will say I need to have more of a balance, I will say, because sometimes it just gets like really hard and to the point where I'm not sure how to handle it. But then I just realized to take one thing at a time. So just, maybe do homework first or chores first and then homework. And then at the end of all of that, then I may have time to write or perform.
Okay.
But I will say it is sometimes hard, but it's good to have a balance. So for all the young artists out there, I will say, if you are a young artist in the making, have a balance.
Yeah.
Make sure to have a balance throughout all of your things so that you're not just doing one thing and then stuck on that one thing to where you miss out on or you miss all of the other things that you could be doing or should be doing.
And I think it's important too, Zoe, that you do have your parents backing you. And the reason why is because they can be an asset to helping you stay balanced. So they can be the ones that say, hey, Zoe, time to put your pencil and your pad down. Come on in here and eat dinner with us. Or, hey, let's go on a trip. Let's take a family vacation and different things like that. Or when they know that you are super stressed or overwhelmed, then they're not going to take maybe, they want her to perform. Okay, well, we're not going to take that opportunity right now because Zoe needs to rest. Or Zoe needs to do this. And so I think that it's important that you have your family with you, because sometimes I think a lot of younger artists, when their parents, even though their parents don't know a whole lot about the industry, they kind of push them off to a manager or something like that, where the manager is not as empathetic to their client as their family member would be, or as their parent would be, because they're just looking at the dollars, or they're looking at the status. So they're like, okay, how can we get Zoe here? And they're not thinking about, I forgot she needs to sleep. Oh, I forgot she goes to school. Oh, I forgot she's only 15, So I think that it's so helpful. So I'm so excited about you guys working with her. we've been talking about taking it back to the old school, and I wanted to know from you, Zoe, this is a funny question, but like what decade is old to you? Like what is even old school to you?
I wouldn't say the 80s because I love 90s. I'm a little bit in the 80s, maybe a teeny bit in the 70s. Like I would probably listen to like Michael Jackson or something in the 70s, but around like 70s, 60s.
60s is old for you. Okay, so if you know anything about the 70s and 60s, what do you think may have worked better out? Let's keep it in the music. What do you think worked better for those singers in the 60s and 70s that might be something that we should be doing right now? Like, what do you think? Can you think of anything that worked better for them back then? You were like, oh, I wish we could still do that. Like, have you seen any movies or anything like that where you can be like, oh, they used to do this, and I think we should do that?
I don't think so.
No?
I'm trying to think, like, maybe... No, well, we do...
Like,
That's how I'm like thinking like this.
I don't know.
Yeah, I'm not sure.
Well,
Not sure on that.
I think that one thing I could think of while I was sitting here looking at you trying to think of something, I watch a lot of music shows and everything. I remember watching The Temptations, one of my favorite movies, one of me and my dad's favorite movies. And I remember them taking their artists out on the road together for them to be able to learn together, for them to have camaraderie and different things like that. And I feel like, I don't know if we do that today. Like say, and I believe, I just met Rob Lacey, matter of fact, and I don't know if he has a roster of young people that he works with, but being able to say, hey, you know what, we're about to do a concert, or we're about to do a tour, and I'm taking Zoe, I'm taking this person, and you guys are all able to be together on the road, to experience that together versus being separate. I think that that's something that they don't do anymore.
Yeah, so Rob is that guy.
Okay.
Like, he does pull his artists together and really give them opportunities, and he works with them. I'll say they are still doing that.
Okay.
Maybe not on larger scale,
but
old school Temptation style, but it still happened. Right?
Yeah, he's and he's up for the People's Choice Award, I think. So he was nominated for that too. So shout out to Rob for being able to do that. Well, Zoe, before we take you out, I had a couple of more questions. I want to know, Valerie, before I ask Zoe this, what do you think is something that we can do now that we can kind of rework that happened in the 70s, 80s, or 90s, that we can kind of turn it into 2024 and say, yeah, that worked for us back then. Let's start doing that again. Anything?
I'm
so
like,
you're gonna be like Zoe too? I don't know.
Oh my goodness. Oh man, that's a good question. You know, like, geez. And it's crazy because you can't think of it. Like it doesn't come like right away. You really have to think about it.
I think what you said earlier and what Tina said though is that the family time. That's the one thing I can think of where I don't know how many people have dinner together with their family. I'm talking like not just eating together, like we eating together, we on the phone or whatever, I'm sitting on the couch and my husband's over there doing whatever, but I'm saying sitting down at the table, putting your phone up and having quality time with your family. Like that's why I said I only remember it on TV shows, because I don't even think that my family did it. We didn't do it because my father was a pastor, so most of the time he was at church. And we weren't eating together like that. But I think reworking just that little tiny thing could make so much of a difference in our families today. Yeah. Taking time out from social media, phones, just to sit there and say, hey, Zoe, how was your day? How was your day at school? What's going on with you? And then, having your husband like, honey, what was going on with you? How did your day go at work? Just little things like that, I think, make the difference in how we can better ourselves as a family, because we're getting to know one another now. And now we're realizing how we can support one another by, Zoe's having problems at school. Why? What's going on with you? Oh, well, how can I support that? And I think that would be something that I would want to rework and bring back, y'all.
No, you made me feel good. We
Yeah.
talk a lot in our house, and we have social media breaks and they're
Have
not
to.
phones are not even allowed at the dinner table
Have to.
because
That's
There you
dope.
go.
my husband and I, we tell them you cannot be on the phone all day. That can't be good for your brain.
Yeah.
Just scrolling all day.
Yeah, eyes, all that stuff. I did a study on something that said that it's some type of something going on with kids because of their eyes looking at the screen for so long, and the LED and all that other kind of stuff. I don't remember what it was, but I know that it was not good. So they were saying, hey, tell your kids to take breaks sometimes, and even us adults, take breaks sometimes. Put your phone somewhere, turn it off.
Yeah.
Well, before we get out of here, I mentioned that you have been nominated for the Vegas Black Music Award this year. So do you know how you even got on their radar? Like, do you know how you got on, and how does it feel to be nominated for an award? Like, you're new to the game.
First, I'm gonna say, y'all, it feels amazing. Like, once I got, my mama told me, actually, she was like, oh my gosh, you got no, and I was like, me? Like,
Yeah.
I was so happy, y'all. I was so excited. I was literally jumping around, like, I made it. But I will have to say, for the first part of your question, you said,
do you know
do I?
how you even got on the radar? Do you know who nominated you, or?
Mom, I think you're gonna have to answer this one, because my mom, she likes the social media manager. She be working.
So on their site, they ask you to nominate
Okay.
someone that you think is prominent. So I nominated her.
Oh, okay.
And then I just kind of spread the word.
Yes.
And we used that social media platform
Yes.
and said, hey, vote for Zoe.
Yes.
Well, I didn't think anything of it. But then I was like, we got in. Like, wow,
What?
that's amazing. And then we went on their site and they said, well, you have to be like 18 and over. And we were like,
Oh no.
and so we kind of put it out of our mind because we thought, well, she's not old enough.
Yeah.
But then they reached out and said, hey, we changed the rules around.
Yeah.
I guess because they're noticing, like, Las Vegas has so much talent, guys.
Yeah.
It's amazing. The people here are amazing. And so because of that, they changed some things around. And lo and behold, they allowed her to be part of the show. And then they hit us with the 4 nominations, and we were just blown away. Like, we had no idea.
And that is dope. And what I love about, let me say it really quick. What I love about working with them, because I'm working with them this year, they have taken over the Las Vegas Black Music Awards. And so the awards that maybe some people saw in the past, because it's been around for a long time, it's nothing like that, first of all. And then second of all, their vetting process is a little rigorous. It's really like they're looking at your body of work. They're looking at what you do in the community. They're looking at a lot of different things to be able to even have you be nominated. Like, some people got nominated but didn't even get picked to be on the ballot to get voted for because they didn't have enough experience or they didn't have enough work in the community. They weren't songwriters like Zoe at 15. And so I think that is awesome. And I think that's awesome that they did change the rules to make sure that our younger artists are able to come out here and do their thing. So my last question, I want to thank y'all for coming out. Tell the people how they can follow you both on your social media platforms, and then if you have anything coming up. And so I'm going to start with Zoe first.
All right, so y'all can follow me at Zoe Johnson Music. That's my Instagram. I think that's my TikTok too. I would have to go back and look. And then I think I have a website. No, I do have a website. Not I think. I do have a website, ZoeJohnsonMusic.com. So go out and follow. Go out and go check it out, y'all. And
Got you
Anything
on
coming up?
YouTube,
Yeah.
too.
oh yeah, on YouTube. Is that the same? Yes. Okay, same thing on YouTube. And then I think I have a couple performances coming up. I can't think of it right now. Black Music Awards, that's one. Yeah, I can't really think of anything.
She has an interview. I just talked to some folks today. She has an interview being done on 702.5.
Hot 702?
Hot
Okay.
702.
Okay.
So that's coming up at the end of the month, actually right after Black
Music
Music
Awards,
Awards.
yeah.
She's going to be in LA the third week of August.
Okay.
for this is a huge opportunity, and I'm not going to talk about it because I don't want to jinx it.
See, I didn't even know about this.
Don't do it.
I'm like, I
Don't do it. Well, hey. Well, so Zoe Johnson Music,
Yeah.
or Zoe Music.
Zoe
Johnson Music.
Okay, so Zoe Johnson Music, just follow her and you can find out what's going on with her and what she has coming up. Valerie, what about you?
Valerie R. Peterson on Facebook and Instagram.
Okay.
Twitter is Lavender H2O.
Lavender
Ooh, I
H2O
like that.
on
Love that.
Twitter.
And then I have my book,
Okay.
The Blue Lotus.
Put that up for me real quick so we can see it. The Blue Lotus
Yeah,
book.
it's available on Amazon, wherever
Okay.
you buy books. So
Okay.
check it out and journal. It's a journal, so
Okay.
you can read and journal.
Okay. Oh, so you can
All
read. You can
right.
read about it and journal. That
Damn
is
right.
awesome.
That's
You
my
guys
favorite.
will please keep in mind we are looking for positive artists who would like to have a live feature performance to end our show every week. You can go over there. So, we just need some music with some substance and positivity. If you're interested, you can email us at foodforthesoulpresents@gmail.com for more information, and you could be our next guest. And next up, we have Zoe Johnson with Is This For Real?
Out of time, out of line, feel so different in this moment. When I perceive need to be so sure. Running through time, through the line, I gotta be free for this moment. Don't wanna leave, don't wanna be unsure. Life is elevating, the time stays drifting away from me. Everything's in rotation, it is what it should be. Everything's working out for me. I've been changed, I've been saved, and I'm wondering, is this for real? Can't explain the way I feel. Oh, is this for real? Oh, I can't believe it all started here. So young, but I just wanted it all. I can't lie, stay working, stay humble, stay waiting for my turn. So much I can't recall. Oh, life is elevating, the time stays drifting away from me. Everything's in rotation, it is what it should be. Everything's working out for me. I've been changed, I've been saved, and I'm wondering, is this for real? The way I feel. Oh, is this for real? Oh,
Forward, never backwards. Gotta stay working. Put that time in, cause the grind has a purpose. Sometimes I pinch myself to see if it's certain, but only God knows the final version. Shooting stars are often caught up in the whirlwind. I just try to take time to breathe and observe it. Be never deceived by a verdict. When others pass judgment, my foundation firm, I ain't budging. Loving every minute of this journey and everything I'm learning. But change is constant, nothing's permanent. Word is I'm next up. Can't let my dreams just collect dust. When I drop something like the best of. Setbacks were setups, so I kept my head up and aimed high. It all came together at the same time. Can't close my eyes, but I'm well rested. Not from counting sheep, but from blessings and infinite investments. Respect.
Man, my life has really been changed. But I can't stop here. I gotta keep going, keep working on me.
stay working, I stay working, oh, stay working, I stay working, I do. I've been changed, I've been saying, is this for real? Oh, for real. Mm-hmm.
Is this for real? I absolutely love that song, Zoe. Keep pushing. The Las Vegas Black Music Awards, August 25th. Get your tickets at LasVegasBlackMusicAwards.com. Also, they have events the whole weekend. Their networking event at C3 Seafood Bar and Grill, Friday, August 23rd, and their Music and Conversations event for up-and-coming artists that want to learn more about the music game, Saturday, August 24th at the Ahern Hotel, and their Wild Card Talent Showcase and Networking event at the Classic Jewels, Saturday, August 24th. Make sure to tune in every Thursday at 8 o'clock p.m. on our FB page and YouTube station, Food for the Soul Media Group, and tell your people. Next week, tune in to The Pot with Big Bobby B every second and third Thursday. Our show tonight has been sponsored in part by the Orlay Collective, The Real Big Bobby B Beats, the Las Vegas Black Music Awards, Dr. Valerie Peterson, and Zoe Johnson Music. We will see you guys next time. Bye.